What's up, everybody? This is your boy, the host, A. Reed, the musicologist, and you are in tune to MCXP Radio here on BGSC Network. Let's go.
Swagger pimp, yeah. Can't now another nigga like me. Yeah. Okay, it goes 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, rockin'. It's time for hip hop. On they reach watch, no sir, not for show. No bars made up of fairy tales. I'm trying for the tragedy, I know it well. So put your hands up in the air just for the winners. A peace sign of pimps, the prostitutes, the sinners. We all deserve a second chance, but we products of illusion and victims of our own circumstance. Apply the pressure, I bet you can. Live the life that you love, shout out to Rand. Love the life that you live, shout out again. It ain't a tough pill to swallow once you comprehend.
What's up, y'all, man? Welcome again, man. It is MCXP Radio here, chilling. Glad to be here, man. A special Friday edition of the Monday Man Cave. Couldn't make it on Monday, so we did it. Decided to do it here on Friday, man, and make sure we give you guys some content. I'm your host, the musicologist A. Reed. You can find me A. Reed TV. My boy Brian is down there chilling in the cut. His mic is off, but he is here. And of course, man, we got the one and only Big Game James, man. Big Game, what's up, baby?
Ray, what's happening, man?
Man, appreciate you stopping by. Everybody, you guys are in tune right now, kicking it in the Monday Man Cave. Make sure you guys are following us on the BGSC network. Please, man, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all of that good stuff, man. We love it. We appreciate it. And it is a good thing. We are doing big numbers, man. We having fun. We're having fun, man. So make sure you guys are tuned in. So, fellas, man, it is funny. Brian, is you in the mix, man? I'm trying to make sure. There you
no
go.
doubt.
There you go. Look, man, a lot of stuff has been going on as far as sports and scandals. I don't know if y'all saw excuse me, y'all saw I put the scandalous like the Tupac song.
Yeah, scandalous.
Hey,
Yeah, Nate sung the hell out of that dude.
oh boy, look, Nate killed it, bro. So look, guys, I don't know if it's safe to say that sports and scandals go hand in hand. I do not know. But it just seems like we have to have one of these scandals that have to somehow pop up every so often. It may not be, it may be every year, maybe a couple of years, but you never know. It just pops up, man. And they be some juicy stories. First and foremost, I can't necessarily in big game. I don't want to put you on blast. I don't want to put you on front.
You can ask me. Let's hold something up.
We haven't necessarily been in that position. You know what I'm saying? But I was
Mhm.
gonna pose. I was gonna pose this question to my man Broken Brian. So look, I mean, to say that you are a young phenom in your sport, whatever that may be, football, basketball, baseball, whatever you like to do, then you're making quite a bit of money.
Mhm.
Shit, you're making an amazing amount of money that people would wish to have. You're going to get your choice and your pick of the litter of what to come about when it comes to the opposite sex, man. Is it safe to say that you can actually contain yourself and not kind of go off the rails and kind of, you know, have relations with some of these women that you have probably have always kind of fiend for?
Reed, honestly, man, when I know going to the rookie symposium back in '98 when I was drafted, they had a setup. And I don't know if we talked about this back on Jill's show or not before. I know I've talked about it a bunch of different times on different shows I've been on. But at the rookie symposium, man, they almost got like a class to school you on the different things and scenarios that could go down with different types of people that's out there just to set you up.
Hmm.
And one of the things they did was they had these two random women just working their way through the lobby of the hotel where we were staying at this big old symposium, and everybody hitting on them. You know, not every, well, a lot of guys hitting on them, trying to get their numbers, trying to get them to come up to the room. And later on, they came up on stage. Everybody's like, "What the hell? They was in the lobby. What they doing on the stage?" And kind of find out, one of them had HIV. Well, it's HIV positive, and
Wow.
and just how easy it is for you to push up on somebody, not knowing, the situation, what they have. And the scenarios are crazy. The stories are endless, dog. But it's out there. It happens. Yeah, you have your pick of the litter, but at the same time, you gotta know you run a risk every time you dealing with somebody that you really don't know.
Mm, that's good information, man. I mean, I've seen those videos where they had guys like Chris Carter or whatnot come in there and speak to those rookies about what they need to do, how to handle themselves, how to conduct themselves,
Hmm.
in the game. So obviously, what you're saying that is a pretty accurate thing that they do go through. But man, it just seems that it's just so easy.
Oh, it's real easy.
That is
Because
just, I mean, the easiest thing on earth. These girls are like looking for paychecks, or I don't know what the case may be.
think about it, Reed. Whatever you like, it's there. You know, whatever your fantasy is, it's somebody right there to fulfill it for you. Just
Mhm.
know it's always something on the other end of it too, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's, hey man, I did the right thing. I got married early. I had me a little bit of fun. I was like, you know what? Y'all crazy. I'm gonna go and give this girl I know got my back for real, dog. I can't mess with y'all. I can't be in these streets messing with y'all, dog.
That's real. That's real. That's real. Brian, how do you feel about that, man?
Uh, I mean, scandals scandals have been a part of sports forever, and like specifically, what type of scandals are we talking about?
Mm,
And I mean, I think it's just part of life. You know, I mean, every walk of life has scandals, so obviously you're gonna have some in sports. You know what I'm saying? You got political type scandals. You got
mm,
scandals involving cheating,
Mm-hmm.
gambling, a lot lying, or and then of course infidelity,
yeah.
or sexual type of scandals, and even criminal type of scandals.
Mm,
And I mean, there it ranges the gamut, and I think it's always going to be a part of sports, especially in the media age that we in now. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like we
Mm-hmm.
hear about a lot more stuff now than before. So I think a lot of stuff that we probably wouldn't have heard, a lot of this stuff that we hear now, we wouldn't have heard in the 80s or 90s. And
very true.
I can give some examples of those a little later as we get deeper in this. But yeah, we know everything now, man. Everything.
Yeah, yeah. With a age now, with a social media age where nothing is hidden, um, it's just one of those things that everything is out there. And I'm glad that you did kind of mention, because it's not just sexual related scandals that we have going on in sports. We also have, like you said, political. We also have the gambling. We have different kinds, but it just seems like somebody is bound to get caught up in some of these things. And today's show, man, just kind of wanted to go down on a few of these scandals that is going on. Some of them kind of current, some of them kind of there in the past, but things that have been going on, just been having this sports world a little juicy. I think one of the main ones that we can definitely talk about that has been in the streets is this thing with Zion Williamson and Mariah Mills. Now,
Ooh, boy.
come on, man. Me and Brian and Greg, we talk about this all the time. No big game. You've heard about this. Look, so Zion, apparently Zion is about to have a baby girl, and Mariah Mills. If you guys do not know who Mariah Mills is, she's well, famous adult entertainer, porn star, however you want to say it. And she has been coming out of the woodworks all over Twitter, showing pictures and tweets and all sorts of things and conversations that she's had with Zion Williamson. Also, basically putting him on blast, putting herself on blast as well.
Mm,
And apparently, she's making it seem like she's kind of upset that he's having a baby. Um, Jesus Christ! To me, it's another PJ Washington situation in the mix. You know, look at Big A.
'Cause, I mean, Brittany, I mean, she got something, dog. Cause she done went and snatched Shaq up, dog.
You saw that, right? You
So I'm
saw that.
Well, I don't. I saw something. I don't know if this is true. I saw something that said that they were already friends.
oh,
That
okay,
they that
okay.
they that they that they were just friends, and supposedly it's just a plutonic thing, and they were just catching up, and that they not in a relationship with each
Okay.
other, that they're not dating or anything like that. But the article, I don't remember where I read. You know, it's so many different damn sports blogs, so we don't
Mm-hmm.
know if any of this stuff is true, or if it's valid information you can really go by. But they said, if we see them together, they made a good point that if you keep seeing them in public together, then people are really gonna question, like, hey, I mean, they got something going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
so how many times we see them together? How many times we see them go out to dinner and lunch and taking trips and stuff? Once they get on that banana boat together, then that's it. That's once you see them on the yacht, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you know what I'm saying? Whenever you see
Yeah,
them on the yacht together, then that be the one. Usually, that'd be like, okay, now they doing something.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't. I'm not. I don't want to sit here and just assume, but I just feel like anybody that is. I don't. I just don't feel like Brittany Renner has platonic relationships.
She looked like she always trying to win somehow, some way.
Always.
And the picture
Always.
they showed today on the one of the sports things I saw, I said, I see why she winning. It just and you know it ain't good for you. But hey man, hey, what they said, my granddaddy said a long time ago, that stuff is undefeated. It ain't lost yet.
I've met the girl. I've met the
Yeah.
girl. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I had to tell you the story. Dallas. I was at Dallas at the Omni Hotel, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
And came down. She actually took a picture with the MCXP shirt. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
you ain't got those pictures loaded up, ready to go.
No, because I didn't know I was gonna talk about her. I didn't know.
Oh, you talking?
And I
You talk
couldn't.
about scandal. You talk about scandals. You know, she been in some recent ones.
And she might mess around and try to get me for defamation of character.
Swear,
Um,
nah, no way. We're not saying nothing. We're not saying any. We're not saying
it,
anything that's not
that's not
verifiably
true.
true, though.
Or yeah, that hadn't already been said by other
Yeah,
people. Yeah.
facts,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
facts.
mean, we're just saying stuff that's in the public already. It's just public information that we're going through. It's nothing that
I have to let me while we go through the show, I'm gonna look that out so I can give y'all some actual factual proof. But yeah, Zion Williamson, man. Look, supposed to be having a baby girl. Mariah Mills is coming out the woodworks with this. This seems like it's another case of another guy getting caught up with his
Mm.
side piece. I mean, yep, just telling it like it is, man. I don't know if there's anything that I can actually say to him at this point, or any kind of advice that anybody can give him at this point, because what's done is already done.
Yeah.
And the way that it's making it seem, he was dipping in those waters with Mariah Mills. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what happens from here. I hope that his relationship isn't strained from this, because having a child is a very big his responsibility. But man, you're gonna have to kind of change your ways, bro. You're
Big
gonna have to
time.
kind of change your ways. Definitely,
Well,
definitely.
Reed, this my thing, and nobody perfect, and I ain't here to judge nobody, man. You know what I'm
Word,
saying? Everybody, got their own things they go through. If you
word.
gonna dip your toe in some other water, you gotta be careful the pool you decide to get in. Like,
This is
why is
true.
that the route you went when there's a lot of other routes somebody his stature can go to and not have to worry about this kickback?
Well, I mean, you know what? He's probably been watching her. I mean, I'm saying she's an adult entertainment star, so
Yeah,
he's probably
yeah,
been watching what she's been doing on her shows. You know what I'm saying? And this,
hmm
that's might have probably been mighty enticing, and he finally got a chance. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like
yeah.
a once in a lifetime thing. It's like a guy finally getting the chance with Halle Berry or something like that. Like,
Gotcha. Okay.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Well,
nah, I feel you.
yeah, well, y'all know a third woman then came out against Zion, right? Y'all know that,
I
right?
missed the third
Yeah.
one. B,
I
I ain't hear
missed this
that.
third one. I missed this third one. A third one came
Yeah,
out.
yes, yes. So this new woman uh Akima, she came out and said that old boy is a sex addict. She said, I never gave you a threesome or never had an OnlyFans or was on Pornhub, so I guess I was all play. I probably never had a chance, you nasty ass sex addict.
Well, Kim ain't she the one that's supposed to be having his baby?
uh, no, okay. Well, Akima is the one having the baby, but this girl's name Yami Taylor.
Oh, now,
Hmm.
is that the one? Is that the one that said, "I can't believe you had me move down here to New Orleans like we both wouldn't find out about each other"?
No, I think that was Mariah.
Okay. Oh,
I believe
okay.
Mariah said that. This other girl, Yami Taylor, she posted a picture of Zion in the bed, sleep.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
saw something like that. Like had his
She
back.
posted a. Yeah, he had his back to her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I said, dude. Come on, man. If these girls are just like jump offs or something like that, like, and you falling asleep over there, it's like
I
I
mean, you
think
need to
you
have them
know.
sign the NDA and then check the phone in. The
Well,
bathroom
okay,
too. No,
so
I'm playing.
that's what oh, your boy shortstop from the Yankees, Derek Jeter. That's what
Mhm.
Derek Jeter did for years. So Derek Jeter, everybody knew he was a playboy in New York for years or whatever. He always messed with baddies and stuff like that. But whenever he had parties or when he ever had people over to his house, every single guest, the guest list was always tight, but everybody had to check their phones in at the door. He never allowed phones into his parties or any digital devices. So they would have
Mm,
to check their phones in or their digital devices in at the door. That's why no pictures ever got out of his scenes.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think he probably was doing the same thing with the women. He's like, hey, no, like, can't have your phone in the bedroom, can't have your phone around the house. Like, you know what I'm
It
saying?
sound like
Where's
them
your
Diddy
Yeah.
phone?
parties.
You gotta put that mess up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
It sound like them Diddy parties. As you can see right there, big game. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What
oh
Bernie
yeah,
Mac?
yeah, yeah.
What Bernie Mac say? Trouble, trouble.
And try
Hey,
to.
I mean, ain't nobody ever said she ain't fine though. I mean,
Right.
nobody
Exactly. That's
has
true.
ever said that.
I never
Right.
said that, but still, you know.
Yeah. No
But
doubt.
but like you said, big game. You can tell that's you're just trying to win, man. You're trying to win up
Yeah.
in that,
No
man.
doubt.
You
No
know what I'm
doubt at all,
saying?
man.
So you know, another allegation. I mean, well, another scandal, man. That's just been recent. The whole John Morant with the gun charges, the gun videos, stuff like that. It's quite upsetting to see a guy, especially. We've gone back and forth. Ja is not. I'm sorry, he's not no gangster or nothing like that.
Mm.
He's like Clarence, and Clarence parents have a really good marriage. Oh, we've all seen the pictures, man. We've all
Yeah.
seen the pictures.
Hey, but Reed,
Um,
man, does it make it worse that now they trying his camp trying to come out and say that it was a fake gun?
yeah, that makes it even worse, man.
So
Yeah,
why you
nobody
still got?
believes that.
Yeah, no one believes it,
Nobody
and then why
nobody
you
believes
carrying a
that.
fake? Come on, man.
Yeah,
Nobody
yeah.
believes
Why you
that.
why
Nobody
you trying
believes
to
that.
drop? Yeah, why you trying to drop that fight? That's. Mm-mm. I don't know. I know that from what they are saying after the finals, Adam Silver will be bringing some kind of uh,
Punishment, yeah.
punishment to him. So I'm kind of anxious to see what that's going to be. But the fact that it's not only one, but it's two videos at this point in time. You would think that at the first one that a guy of that nature, you being the franchise piece of a organization, you being the face of that organization, um, you would think that you would kind of wise up after the first one. I'm not saying that people can't make mistakes, but you would think that somebody would wise up from that from his first incident.
Right.
But apparently, I don't think he has, man. I don't know what's gonna happen uh, with Ja going forward. But this is I don't know. It doesn't necessarily make me scratch my head. It just makes you just it's that SMH. It's just that you just put your head in like God damn, bro.
I'm
Like
shaking my head because it's one thing if you do something to get in trouble a couple years prior. This was months in between, not even a whole year. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So your shit is still fresh. You ain't got no room for error, dog. You
yeah,
can't mess. You can't just go from Well, talking to Jalen Rose, like, well, I thought about what I did. I made my mistakes, and I'm gonna fix them. And I went down to the place and had rehab. You don't need rehab for being a jackass. You might need rehab for being on drugs and drinking and smoking, but for just being a jackass, they ain't no rehab for that. That was all publicity stunt to try to, clean the image up, and clearly he didn't get nothing from it.
I couldn't have said that better, Brian.
Hey, I mean, he got suspended 8 games the first time, and this time people are saying maybe 22 or 30 games
Lord.
that he may be looking at on this one. 30 games is a lot, man. That's a lot of games. That's a huge part of the season. Well, we talking about 82 games.
I've heard damn near the
So,
whole season, man.
and I mean, if they wanted to do half a season, we talking about 41.
Damn.
41 games, and I mean that's tough as hell, man, to be out. And so 30 games ain't that far from friggin' 41. I mean, that's your whole first half of your season. If you're Memphis and you're trying to make the playoffs, losing your best player for 30 games or even 40 games, a half of the season, that's gonna cripple you for the whole. I mean, they can almost throw their season away. And that's cold to say. You know what I'm saying? That's really messed up. It's unfair for the other guys. And I mean, there's issues like, I mean, you got the 2A issues, right? Like in terms of the Second Amendment, right? We all deserve to be able to possess firearms legally. So if it's a legal firearm, you're of age, you know what I'm saying? You should be able to have that firearm. And people are going to make that argument like, well, what's wrong with having a firearm? You can have a firearm, but you also depends on what job you're in. And when you're in a public facing job and you have morals clauses inside of all of these contracts, then they can knock you on that, on certain things. You know what I'm saying? So you already got suspended once, and like you said, it was pretty recent. It's still on top of everybody's minds. People were still making jokes about the first event. They were still memeing it. The memes and the jokes hadn't really subsided yet from the first dang event. So, and you go straight into another one, and they were trying to blame his friend. Now the first one we blamed his friend. We kind of low key kind of blamed the people around him, right? We like, okay, well, what's going on with the people around you? Like, why are the people, the people around you supposed to protect you, and they supposed to be like, hey man, like, you're not supposed to be doing this kind of stuff. Like, what kind of friends do you have if they letting you get involved with this? When he was in the car, his friend, they was turning up, they was having fun. As soon as Ja pulls the gun up, his friend low key was like, God damn, like, and turned the camera.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
He
friend
did.
turned
and
the
I didn't pay
camera.
attention to that beat until one of my boys told me. I had to go back and look at it again. And I was like, damn.
Yes. His friend turned the camera and put it on his shoulder and kind of, you know what I'm saying? So his friend, in that instance, his friend had more sense than him, man. His friend, because I think his friends heard the chatter on the internet. His friends are on Twitter too, I'm sure, under different accounts or whatever. Everybody's on social media, especially in this young generation. So they saw the chatter, they like, damn, why they blaming us for this? Is a grown ass man right here. But then they had, the one friend who had the camera, obviously he thought something. He was like, hey, maybe I'm gonna try to be more, I'm gonna try to protect the guy in a sense. And he turned the camera. You know what I'm saying? So can you still blame the friends or the people here around? I mean,
it still boils down to Ja.
Yeah, personal responsibility.
He still has to take the accountability of it. Whether the friend drops that phone or not, he shouldn't even brought that gun out during the live video. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
I don't have a problem carrying. I don't have a problem with them carrying a gun. I don't have a problem with them driving around with the gun.
I don't think anybody had.
Because so much stuff goes on. nowadays.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't blame these people with money. I mean, they just robbed Tank while he's in jail. They broke into his house.
Yeah.
They broke into his mansion while he's serving his 60 days or 90 days or whatever he's serving, and they broke into his house. You know what I'm
Damn.
saying? Stole a bunch of shit out of his house. And we seen what happened to Triple X. You know what I'm saying? Down in Florida, we seen what happened to Dolph in Memphis.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, shit.
So
Go. Let's go
how
back to
far
Sean
we
Taylor.
Shine
Man,
go
real
back to
talk.
Lost
Sean
his life.
Taylor
Yeah,
Real talk.
lost his life, broke inside his house. Why is it so? I don't have a problem with any man caring or whatever, but be respond. The world ain't got to know that. The world ain't got to see that, and you ain't gotta portray that. Portray. You're not a drill rapper, buddy. That's just plain. That's just
Yeah.
the thing.
I think we had
You're
mentioned
not a
that
drill. You're not a drill rapper.
I think we had mentioned that on the chop shop that, uh it's not about him like necessarily holding a gun, but like when you're again, when you're like the face of a franchise, man, and I'm just
right.
saying when you dealing with other people's money, you know, the people that ain't your color, white folks' money, bro, you kinda gotta play in the right
I mean,
role.
that's in corporate money. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
mean,
you gotta play
yeah.
in the
I
right.
haven't seen any players in the big three doing this. The big three, but these are all older guys. These are all retired NBA players, so they obviously more mature. But you ain't seen none of them doing that. Even Ice Cube owns the league. You know
Yeah,
Right.
what I'm saying? Or partially owns the league, or he's the big face of the league and everything like that. So, but you ain't seen those guys doing that.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Another
So it's just corporate money.
yeah, yeah. Another allegation we can still talk about. Well, and I don't want to sully my man's name too bad, man, but the Kobe Bryant allegations that he had a little while ago when he was still in the league, when him and that I guess that girl that was in Colorado, I want to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um,
Colorado, the
yeah,
hotel room, the infamous hotel room thing.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like I said, I don't want to speak too bad on Kobe. Um, shit, he's human
Well, I
just like
mean,
everybody else. You
yeah,
know,
it happened. It
these
happened.
things, yeah, these things do happen. I think they did eventually settle out of court with that. Kobe did pretty much admit that, yeah, something did go down, but that it was a consensual, like there was no rape. Uh,
Right.
anytime that I say something when it comes to like the rape allegation stuff, the first person I think is Big Ben
Ooh, boy,
Roethlisberger.
that one get me though. They get me. The media choose how they want to, who they want to crucify, and who they want to let go.
Facts though. Facts though, big game. Facts though. Cause Big Ben
Yeah,
he should have got more.
Kobe got it. Kobe got it real hard, and I mean, all he admitted to infidelity. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I mean, if you really look at the facts surrounding the case, that's all it was.
And I
You
think
know what I'm saying?
Kobe,
I think
yeah, you're right, B.
think one of the reasons why Kobe got it so bad too from the fans and from the public is two different things. I mean, of course, any black man that's accused of rape against a white woman is gonna bring a certain type of vigor or a certain type of uh you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
forceful, like people gonna have, that, come on, man, that's
Outrage.
this is America. Yes, thank you. There's gonna be a certain amount of outrage for that, and people gonna already pick sides on that. But the facts of the case of that, you know what I'm saying, if you actually look at the facts, I can't give them all now, but people can go back and look them up. I'm pretty satisfied that she was just a chick that he wanted to mess with. They had sex or whatever, and afterwards it was a money grab.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the normal fans, even people who are on Kobe's side on the allegations part of it, had a problem with him seemingly, apparently throwing Shaq under the bus while he was talking to the cops. That's another big part of that. Because when he was talking to the police, he was like, "Hey, Shaq has paid women off plenty of time, paid women off plenty of times." Now, the police didn't get that part on tape. So they recorded a lot of part of their conversation with Kobe, but they said Kobe said this as they had got out of the cruiser and were walking into the station. And that's why they didn't get that part on tape, but they wrote it down. So were the police lying on him? Did he really say it? Did he not say it? It's a lot of clouds around that. That's a controversy. I mean, it was a controversy. Now, is it a valid controversy or not? I mean, Kobe did live it down a little bit to a certain extent. He got over it. He stayed with his wife. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a divorce, and his wife stayed loyal to him through today, through up until his death and even past his death. I mean, she seemingly has been a good woman to him. So. And he he stayed controversy free pretty much after that. So
yeah, he did. I think, and a lot of people try to bring that with the internal beef that him and Shaq had at that point in time, whatever was going on between both of them, but they were both on the Lakers. Big Game, you mentioned this Ben Roethlisberger joint, man. Why does it kind of shake you up a little bit?
I get pissed off because this is my thing, man. It was several occasions where Ben Roethlisberger was doing something with an underage girl in the club in the bathroom and then gets off. And there's so many other things they bring up with other players, and I'll just say it of color, throw them under the bus. They do their best to try to reshape Ben's image, and the next thing you know, he's off, he's married, he's a great family man, but he had a problem, dog, whether they want to address it or not. Something was going on with Ben, and it never really got addressed. They swept it under the rug. They let him, he went off and got married, had his kids, went on to a great career. But underline, I know it was some hush money and everything else that went on with that whole situation, man. And it's just the way
it had to be.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all, man. Should a player scandal, no matter how good he is, should a player scandal, should that negate them from being in a Hall of Fame?
Well, the Hall of Fame is supposed to be based on what you did on the field the field of the court and for that sport. Now, some people are gonna look at Pete Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, baseball. I was gonna mention that. So the Baseball Hall of Fame, it depends on which Hall of Fame you're talking about.
Yeah.
Baseball Hall of Fame specifically is the sports writers, right? So the sports writers decide, and they pick on and the sports writers are allowed to use character issues inside or outside of the game in their determination and whether they'll vote for you for the Hall. And that's one of the things that they've been using against Pete Rose for forever. And why he, you know what I'm saying? And just the gambling part of it. I mean, that really sucks. And he was forever banned by the commissioner of that time. Yeah, I believe it was Rozelle, maybe. Don't quote me. Rozelle might have been NFL commissioner, but
I know. I know you're talking about. It was the one commissioner I was standing for most of my adult life until I know what you're talking about, B. I can't remember who it is.
Yeah, but he banned him for life. So, and he never lifted that ban. The subsequent commissioners have never lifted the ban. So, I mean, as long as the voters can vote him in, but as long as he's banned for life from the actual league that you're trying to get into the Hall of Fame of, I don't think you'll ever get in.
Well, then that means that those sports writers or whoever it is that is voting these guys in have to have biased opinions. Really, really have to come in with a biased opinion, because if Ben Roethlisberger can have rape allegations and they sweep that under the rug, he's pretty much going to be a guaranteed, probably first ballot Hall of Famer for that.
Has Roethlisberger officially retired?
Yeah.
He officially retired.
Okay, because because and it is funny, man, how it works, man, between white and black guys, right? So whenever a black man retires, whenever a black player retires, they seem like they immediately bring up all the dirt from their
Mm,
past. Or
mm.
whenever a black man is up for anything, a lifetime achievement award, he's getting ready to get voted into the Hall of Fame. He's, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
He dies. When he dies, then everybody gets up and starts saying, "Oh, we shouldn't celebrate his life because he had this in his past. Look how they did Jim Brown, right?" I don't remember when Roethlisberger retired. I didn't see a whole bunch of think pieces on Twitter and all over sports media talking about all these allegations and like, okay, so what? He retired. He was a rapist. I don't remember seeing that fervor.
Yeah,
Right.
but they weren't gonna talk
Just
about it.
me.
No, they
They
not
weren't
gonna
gonna talk
talk
about
about
it.
it, man.
They weren't gonna
I
talk
mean, like
about
it
it.
never happened, and it's
Brett
like,
Favre didn't Brett Favre
Brett Favre was
send
showing
dick
naked pictures.
send
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
he was
showing.
sending dick
he sent the PP pics to
Yeah,
the girl reporter.
the lady in the jet staff, man.
one. I think it was a reporter
Yeah.
and a
Hmm.
trainer and a trainer
Yeah, and
and
she was
that was
young
when he was with
too.
the that's when he
Jet.
was with the Jets, right? That
Yeah, when
was
it was with the
Yeah,
Jet.
and I think he'll still be considered for the Hall. You know, and
No, I
I
think
mean,
Brett's already
Varve
in the
is in
hall.
the hall.
he's
He's in
already
the
Yeah,
hall.
I'm
see,
sure.
see,
Yeah, Varve.
see,
Yeah,
see.
Varve
And
was
It's
he's
in.
like,
stealing
He
and he's
was.
stealing money from the state of Mississippi right now.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a
uh-huh.
top 50, and he's top 50 or top 100. What they do, 100, a top 100,
Yeah.
the
Something like that.
NFL
Yeah.
all-time 100 team. Yeah, he was on that
Yeah, the all central
Shoot.
team or whatever it was, yeah.
all
Yeah.
100 team. Yeah, he made
So
that.
The Barry
Oh.
Bonds thing.
See, this is the thing
Like,
about baseball, Reed. And I know you gotta really touch on the whole thing, but baseball mad about betting, but yet for so long they, with Palmero and Bonds and
mm-hmm,
Mark McGuire and Conseil, they try to sweep all this steroid use shit under the rug like it was no big deal. And to me, what's the difference between letting drug use go and Pete Rose gambling, maybe gambling on the game? It's like you picking what you want to be a hypocrite about, or
right,
what bothers you a little bit more than the other person. I
right,
mean,
right,
it's some man. That's why baseball
Well,
gonna be all Dominican in a minute, man. Fuck them.
I mean, to be fair though, they've kept a lot of the steroid allegation guys out of the hall as well.
That's true too. Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, uh, a lot of the writers refuse to vote these guys in. So I don't believe McGuire is in yet. Bonds is not in. Roger Clemens. Um, they refuse to put even Kurt Schilling.
Mm.
mm-hmm.
I don't believe Schilling is in. Um, I think Andy Pettit might be one of the only ones out of that era that they kind of let slide because Andy Pettit came out and apologized for his, like Roger Clemens, he's not in. So Andy Pettit came out and apologized and admitted that he did it. A lot of these other guys refuse to ever admit that they even did it, that they got caught. You know that well, is there evidence or is there not complete evidence? You know what I'm saying? Like Barry
Mm.
Bonds will say, no, there's no substantial smoking gun evidence that I cheated.
But
But that
Bonds did look
but
rocked up though.
but
He did look
there's a lot of circumstantial evidence. I mean, they said his literal head
rocked up.
size increased. So when he first came in the league, he was wearing a smaller cap than he was when he left the league. So his actual head increased.
The head
They
can't
said
expand.
Yeah.
only HGH will do. They say only
Now, if
HGH will do that.
you look at him in the Pittsburgh Pirate uniforms compared to them San Francisco Giant uniforms. That was a
Yeah,
big, hey man, that was
he's
a
a
big ass difference.
yeah, it's very different, very
Yeah.
big difference, very big difference. So I mean,
One thing I will say about baseball, though, I think with the steroid era, I think what it did for them was, and Canseco said this. Canseco kind of considered the godfather of steroids and stuff. He introduced Mark to it when they were the Bash Brothers in
Yeah.
Oakland, and I have Canseco's books on it. You know what I'm saying? That he wrote. He wrote one. He was talking about it before even the sports writers in the league would admit to it, that it was a problem or that it was
Hmm.
going on.
Hmm.
And he always called Major League Baseball hypocritical because he was
Mm,
like, Major League Baseball knew that it was going on and looked the other way while
right.
this was happening because of all the home runs, especially the first Maris home run chase between Mark and Sammy Sosa
Yeah.
was so great for the league. And all the homers and the scores were going up. They had some of the best attendance numbers ever in the history of baseball during those steroid years. And I think steroids help these guys recover more. And that's what Conseco said. It's not going to help you hit a baseball. It's not going to make you necessarily a better player. It may help you hit the ball farther, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to keep you more healthier. It's going to recover more. Barry Bonds was a great player in Pittsburgh.
Right.
He
There
just
you go.
wasn't hitting as many home runs, but he had a high batting average. He
Hmm.
was already stealing a lot of bases. He was already a good offensive player, just in
Right.
general.
Right.
And so I don't think steroids would take a minor leaguer and make him an all-star.
Got yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think
I feel you on that one.
I don't think that's going to happen. But it helped the home run numbers for sure, obviously, and I think it helped the recovery numbers. These guys were playing more games, and
Yeah.
I think they were avoiding some injuries that they might have had if they weren't juicing.
I think one particular scandal that did happen in baseball that I kind of want retracted, and I'm like saying I'm not saying it because I don't like the team. Just the Houston Astros sign stealing incident from a few years back.
Oh, oh,
Um, look, man, look, I'm all about fairness in the game, but if you just blatantly gonna cheat like that, y'all shouldn't be able to win. Y'all shouldn't be able to win the World Series. Not like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Not like that,
But
bro.
that's like the shit the
Oh wait,
Patriots was doing, sending people to people's
so you
games with fake
saying
signals.
you saying you want their trophy taken from
I wouldn't have been mad if they did. I wouldn't be mad if they did. You know what I'm saying?
them?
I will let the Lakers keep that bubble.
Like the
I'm gonna keep it.
NCAA. I mean, yeah, like the
Wait a
NCAA
minute,
take the
wait a
people.
minute, wait,
Nah, I just had
man.
to throw that
Ain't
in
no
there to
way.
piss you off. It's
Obviously,
still a
man. There's
legit.
no
It's
way.
still a
It's
legit.
it's no
It's still
way
a
you
legit
can
championship.
bring.
But I'm
No,
just
no,
saying.
but to even bring up the Lakers bubble with a team that actually cheated, that's come on, man. That's totally not fair. Those two things are no way in hell in comparison.
I'm saying, look, before you get all bunched up in your drawers, because a lot of people already said that Lakers championship wasn't even a real championship because of the bubble. But I ain't even tripping on that. I've already gave it to them. It's legit in my book.
Where the
I'm just
lake where the
saying you
Lakers
have
were the Lakers recording other teams in the bubble? Did the Lakers
no,
deflate the basketballs in the bubble?
no, they
Did the
didn't.
Lakers pay off the refs in the bubble? Is there any proof of that they paid anybody?
Big game. This is my J Stocks right here.
Well,
Hmm.
no. Oh, I guess you can't answer the question because none of that stuff
No,
happened.
and no, and no, no,
The Houston
no,
Astros, the Houston
no.
Astros actually cheated. They were banging the trash can in the goddamn dugout in the dugout hallway, and they were actually stealing signs.
Yeah, they
And
were.
and and the Boston Red Sox were caught to have been stealing signs also.
They
And I
shouldn't
mean,
have been.
stealing signs in baseball has been a thing for a while. You can steal signs in baseball if you don't use added aids. So if you're sitting in a dugout, they said Manny Ramirez was very good about this. Manny Ramirez was a genius about stealing signs from the catcher to the pitcher because he would just watch the catcher and watch the pitcher and what they were doing, and he was very good at being able to steal signs from the first base coach to the third base coach and all that, and from the manager going to the field.
I
Stealing,
understand that.
stealing,
I understand
stealing
that. But
signs
when
and
you,
interpreting signs that way is legal. But you
I
can't use
understand
a
that. But when
camera.
you,
You
yeah, when
can't
you,
use a camera from the outfield. You can't have a camera in a goddamn scoreboard pointed towards the field, which the San Francisco Giants was doing, which they got caught doing, like in the 50s or 60s or something like that. That's totally different. You can't
we've seen,
compare that to a
we've seen
shortened
the
season.
videos. We've seen the videos of the Astros, and you can look it up. You can look it up. You can literally hear that bang of a fucking trash can in the background, knowing exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that shit should have been. To me, I feel like that one should have been retracted. That's some bullshit. They
Oh
should
man,
have
that
gave
was
that
a
shit
foul
to them.
shit right there. The
That was
Dodgers
just straight. That
yeah.
was that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all didn't earn that down. Y'all didn't earn that one. I think didn't y'all play the Dodgers? I think they played the Dodgers that
Yeah,
year.
they won. They beat the
Yeah,
Dodgers
Yeah,
in that World Series.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
they
That's
played
that
the
bullshit.
Dodgers.
Dodgers should have
They
won it.
played the Dodgers.
The Dodgers should have won it, man. Dodgers should have won it.
We
Um,
had chances. We had chances to win it on the field.
yeah,
So even as a Dodger, as a hardcore Dodgers fan, I'm always hate the Astros for that. And they did. I feel like they cheated us out the championship, but we still had chances to win it on the field. And me personally, I wouldn't take the championship away because who are you going to give it to? You can't give it to us because we didn't win it on the field. So
nobody won that year.
all you're gonna do is basically vacate the championship and you'll just leave it as an unwin trophy. Everybody knows what happened. I mean, 100 years
Yeah.
from now in the record books, I guess it'll look like a vacated trophy, but you can always look up and see what happened. You know what I'm saying? They won it, we lost it.
Stranger
They
things have
cheated.
happened. Stranger things have
I mean, it's
happened.
kind of like boxing, right? Where they just take a belt from a guy if he was juicing or something like that. If he
Right.
fails a drug test a couple days after a bout, and they'll vacate the belt. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think they
Mhm.
necessarily give the belt to the guy he beat, right? They don't do that, right? Like they'll
No, they
just vacate the
vacated and
belt,
somebody can
right?
fight for it later and shit. Yeah.
And somebody fight for it later. So, I mean, are you trying to take away the Deflate Gate trophies? Are you trying to
Mm.
take away the? Are you trying to take away the Bounty Gate trophy?
Talk about Deflate Gate. Big game, man. Talk about that Deflate Gate, man.
Hey man, I'm gonna tell y'all something I told somebody a long time ago. What Tom Brady did and got caught for is what a lot of quarterbacks have done for a very long time.
Mm.
You get
Okay.
your game balls, the NFL inspects them, and then your equipment guys get to making them the way you want them to be. Um,
Mm.
is it bullshit? Yeah, it shouldn't happen. But the Patriots aren't the first to do that. They're the first to get caught doing it. That's the whole problem with
And to be honest, I really didn't see like the huge issue because I was just looking at it from the
no.
quarterback standpoint of him
It's a
just
difference,
wanting his
Reed.
balls to be just
And
a
just
certain way. But
if your quarterback got a certain zip and velocity and that shit is a little deflated where it come in, it's a little bit easier to catch when you can squeeze with them fingertips a little bit more than
true,
having it inflated, all the way to where it's supposed to be. So it's a little bit of an advantage there, but it's been doing stuff like that
Did
for years.
they said Manning would do it too, right? Did
Yeah,
they said Manning would do it too?
Peyton would get the balls the way he wanted them to. It happened,
But they tried to act like Manning did it within the rules, and
but
Brady did it outside of the rules.
this is what made it worse. The Patriots have been in so much trouble over time for cheating
Spygate,
to where it
Spygate.
just added to it. Like I knew people that was in New England, back in the day, you could only have 5 guys on your practice squad, right?
hmm
New England would keep about 3 extra. In the paper, it would put that they waived them and they were on the wire, but they would pay them under the table to stay up there and keep practicing. So they would run a practice squad with 8 people on it instead of 5.
wow,
And
Wow.
these are guys I know and I played with on other teams later on. Like, oh yeah, man, they took care of me in New England, man. I was on practice squad for the whole year. I mean, your ass got waived. I saw it. Shit, I was still practicing. They still paid me under the table. I'm like, ooh, shit.
wow,
It happened. And so they
wow.
got caught for that. They got in trouble for that. They would send people to other cities, try to put them in stadiums to steal signals from other teams. They would have guys on the sideline with video cameras recording offensive and defensive coordinators to try to see what those
Spygate.
signals were to go along with the plays. I mean, so they did so much different shit for so long and got caught. to when the balls came out, it was just the icing on the cake. But like I said, it was nothing a whole lot different than what other teams have been doing.
Let the truth be told. Then, goddamn, see, it's a reason why the people hate Patriots. It's a
Yeah,
reason
And
why.
the Astros tried to use that same damn excuse. They tried.
they
They
did.
tried to say, "Well, everybody cheats." It's like, yeah,
If you're
y'all
not
got,
cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
and
heard that. I've heard
that's
the same.
saying. I want to say that saying came from baseball because cheating has always been sort of a part of the history of baseball. Like I said, like stealing signs, and I mean, shit, you steal bases in baseball. Like it's literally called a stolen base.
But
You know what I'm
as an
saying? So
athlete, as an
that's low
athlete,
key, like cheating, low key. Like
yeah. But I know even as a D lineman, I would watch enough film to get a tendency from an offensive lineman to know what the hell they was doing when we got into a game.
right.
So is that me being smart studying film, or am I cheating and stealing? They tell you to be a student of the game. They tell
Well,
you to
yeah,
watch film
yeah,
to learn tendencies, right?
right, right. You're right.
It
So
sounds like it's a fine line.
the Patriots just went above and beyond the aspect of studying film. It's different when you watch stuff, when you share and exchange film, but when you go to extra mile to record shit that you technically can't have. So they
Well,
would send
during
people
that
down to
week, like
Cali.
during that week coming up to play them, though, that's the cold part, right? So they didn't just study what you did against, let's say, the 9 other teams
Right,
that you played before them.
right.
They're looking at what you're going to use on that Sunday coming
Your
up.
game plan. They
And
looking
they
at
would
your
try to
game
use your
plan.
audio too. They would try to get cameras with audio so they could verbally get what your verb because like film you exchange doesn't have any sound. You can't hear it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and I'm not gonna lie, I had a position coach that would try to get the TV copy of certain games, and we would watch the TV copy sometimes. And by the time we got to the game on Sunday, I was like, all right, orange, 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 yellow, 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 orange, offensive line sliding to the right. I know I'm going to have a two-way go on this side and have one-on-one from the guard because the center leaving the help.
Well, okay, didn't John Lynch say John Lynch, free safety, strong safety, from Tampa? He said when they beat the Raiders, he said the Raiders didn't change anything
Yeah,
from the previous year.
right.
So when Gruden came in, he told them everything that the Raiders were doing. It was just such a damn coincidence. It's like an irony, right? That the Raiders would get to the Super Bowl and John Lynch is their former head coach, and they would never think that they would play their former head coach in the goddamn Super Bowl because he's in the other damn conference. You know what I'm saying? And they're not thinking that Tampa is going to get there, and they do get there, and they kept everything. They kept all the protections, the
Yeah, that's what Callahan done with a
audibles.
motherfucker because you got to
They kept all the audibles and everything. So John
Yeah,
Lynch was like, every single thing they were calling, we friggin' knew. As soon
yeah.
as they
John
called it,
Gruden told them what was
I
going to
called it
happen.
out to the whole team. As soon as they called everything.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me. Is that that's definitely not cheating. That's a team being dumb as hell. And not because by the time they got to the week before the Super Bowl or the 2 weeks before the Super Bowl, it's too late in the season to change all of that verbiage.
Yeah, that verbiage because
So
of the way
they
it goes in, you got to do it way before. You can't do a season worth of verbiage in 2 weeks.
No.
so they knew
No.
I think the Raiders low key knew they were fucked going into that game. I think they kind of knew that.
But at the same time, you keep some things the same, but you always got to add something to it as if you a smart coach because you never know what's going to happen later on.
Fact.
Do you
So that was
think
on
do
Callahan,
you
man.
Do you think Manning would have got around that with Peyton, like the way he uses his Omahas and all that? You think he would have
Man,
added in some? He would have added in or took out a couple things that
let
would
me
have
tell you, this is one of
been
the
able
smartest
to stop
motherfuckers I
that.
ever played with in my life.
That Omaha probably would have been like 10 different
But this is the
fucking
thing, y'all. I tell
audibles.
everybody, Peyton had 3 plays called in the huddle. He had 3 plays and two different audibles he could go to depending on what the defense did. And that shit was precision. I mean, it was fast enough for him to read the defense, be like, check, Omaha. And sometimes he even had dummy calls. So when you thought you knew what he was checking to, he making some shit up that it's not a play.
That's crazy. That is so
Peyton would call
crazy.
shit that was nothing, and the defense like,
And see,
we got it. Like, no, you don't. That ain't shit. Then
Touchdown.
they
that's why.
then they go back to the other
That's
play they
why.
already called in the huddle.
That's why Peyton is my GOAT. That's why Peyton, for me personally, that's why I know this is not the conversation, but that's why. But because of how smart he was and because of his offenses, to me, that's why Peyton is. He's my GOAT quarterback of all time.
I definitely would have liked to see Peyton win more than 2, but he just couldn't get over them damn Patriots.
Yeah, he couldn't get over the
Tom
Patriots
Brady.
certain times, man. But to watch his work ethic, man, be the first one there, last one to leave, the studying of the game, the coming up with stuff, and man, Tom Moore was a motherfucker as a coordinator too. I mean, they worked very well together, man.
Mm, mm. One of the biggest scandals, man, before we head out, one of the biggest scandals that did happen, man, that kind of always, this probably made me think differently of the NBA, man, was the whole thing with Tim Donaghy.
Is that the
I don't know if
referee
you,
scandal?
yeah, it's a referee
Yeah,
scandal. I don't know if you have you
yeah.
seen that special on Netflix, man?
I have not.
Check that out, man. I gotta
Okay.
find the. I'm gonna text you the name of it, man. But it's a
Okay.
special. It's a special that he's actually talking about the whole scandal, how the refs literally were getting paid to kind of fix these games a little bit, man, and how they kind of had
Mm.
it out for certain players, especially Allen Iverson was one of the main ones that they used to have it out for, just making up complete phantom calls on
Damn.
the guys.
So was it more than one? Was it more than one ref doing this, or was it just him?
It was
Or
him, but
did
I
he
think
name?
I want to say it was another ref or somebody else involved, but I know it was some outside had to be some outside sources that from him over there from his side that was telling
Mm.
him to call the game certain kind of ways. So yeah, man, he that knowing about that scandal kind of piqued my interest of how the NBA is kind of played.
Mm.
Is it necessarily for the ratings, or are they really playing? Because it sometimes it just seems amazing to me that these guys that shoot millions, hundreds, thousands of balls every single day when they go to practice, all of a sudden they come into a game and they just can't shoot for nothing.
Mm.
It was
You know what I'm
definitely a
saying?
black. It was a black eye for the league for sure.
Yeah, yeah, definitely so, definitely
It
so.
gave it gave a lot of conspiracy theorists a lot to talk about,
A
and we
lot.
still talk about it to this day. I mean, it really damaged the image of the league, and it was bad. It confirmed a lot of people biases already. It's like confirmation bias for a lot of people because a lot of people were like they already thought it was going on, and it just confirmed it. And those that's why gambling, cheating, stuff done by the refs, point shaving, that's why these leagues take stuff like that so seriously. That's why Pete Rose will never be in a hall because he was a manager. He gambled when he played, but he gambled while he was a manager
Yeah.
of the fucking Reds
Yeah.
when he
Mm,
was managing the team and
mm,
gambled. And he claimed he never gambled on his own team, but they said he did gamble on his own team. That when you gambling and you gamble on your own team, nobody can trust the results of these games.
Yeah.
And that's why gambling is so bad. That's why gambling scandals they arise. That's why these leagues take that. Somebody just got suspended. A couple guys in the NBA, I believe, just got suspended or
Man,
I
like
think
NFL.
six
I
guys in
think
the NFL just got
I
suspended.
think the dude from
NFL.
the Colts, wasn't it? The guy
Now
from the Colts.
Detroit, like 2 from Detroit, somebody
Okay.
maybe from the Colts too. But this is my whole problem with that. The NFL can't sign a deal with FanDuel and DraftKings to set shit up to in Caesar Sportsbook to get paid,
Facts,
and then
facts,
yet still throw different things out there on players. The league
facts.
wants they want to have their cake and eat it too. Gambling has always been taboo and a no-no in the NFL, even back when I was playing. But then you come up to sign these major deals because you want to fatten your pockets, and a player go and do a parlay and get in trouble.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
No, no, I mean he's right. He's right. He's right.
And they said one of those guys was only gambling like $50 here, $50 there. It wasn't even like he was gambling real huge money. That's what I read.
Now you heard Ridley, supposedly Calvin Ridley, the year he got suspended in Atlanta, he did it was like $1,500, and he ended up losing how many million the next year for that year-long suspension?
Yeah,
Crazy, man.
the whole season.
Now rules are rules, so like I still fault the player to a little bit, but this is the thing with the league: you can't make it so accessible, and you be like, that's just like back in the day. That stove is hot, you shouldn't touch it, but I'm gonna turn the fire on and not make you back up, and your ass is
Well, would there be a
shit.
stipulation in your NFL contract that says you can't do that, even
There's
though they have
I mean,
these things
it's a written
available?
just like you have a character contract. The things you can't do. This, when they say conduct detrimental to the team, there's a paragraph in there about things you can't get caught doing because it's detrimental to the team's image. So that's why like John the Guns and other players that like the boy that was on the Cowboys roster that got arrested for suspended license,
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
cut his ass. You know what I'm saying? The conduct detrimental to the team. Did he really do anything to hurt the team? No, but it's the team's image because you're signed to my team. The gambling shit is in there, so you know it. But at the same time, the rules are so scarce and so stretched before. Because like back in the day, Reed, when I was playing, we bet all the time, like on different shit, like on the NBA, like, but it's a locker room bet, or you had to get all the way out to Vegas or Atlantic City to put money down. Now I can go to an app on my phone.
True.
I can go
So
to an
do
app
you
on my
think?
phone and do it.
So do you think big game? Do you think players should be able to bet on the league? Like, say I'm an NFL player, should I be
Uh-huh.
able to bet on? Should I be able to bet on other NFL games that I'm not involved in?
I think you should. If it's
Because if
not
I'm
your
not in,
squad,
if
yeah,
it's not my team, if it's
if,
not my team, I'm not involved in this game. I'm not playing in this game.
yeah,
As long as I'm not betting on any of my games or anything
right.
I'm involved with, should you be able to bet on other teams in the league?
I think you should. Because the NFL can make money on everybody else betting on. They can make money off all three of us betting on that shit.
Yes, they can.
So they might as well, the players should be able to reap some of those benefits from betting and winning, as long as it's not on their own team. Because
All right.
nobody's gonna risk their whole career. Well, I ain't gonna say nobody, but for the most part, if if you playing for the Chargers and I'm in Tampa and y'all playing against the Chiefs that week, I'm gonna be like, hey dog, man, what y'all go ahead and let the Chiefs roll that ass up so I can put some money down and win. You ain't about to do that shit for me to win a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, and that's your squad, and that's your job. So
Right.
it's not gonna be
Right.
that severe for me to be able to like bet on what's going on. Now they might be like, well, you might call other people and see who's hurt. Motherfucker, y'all publish the injury report every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I know who's on the injury report. I know who
Yeah.
I know who playing or not playing. So it's not like it's that serious. Like to
So
me,
that's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Maybe they think y'all like you as a player. If you're a current player, you're on the active roster. Maybe they feel like, and a whole lot of other players throughout the league. Maybe they feel like you have insider information, almost kind of like insider trading. And when it comes to stocks, maybe that's how they feel. Maybe that's how they feel.
I think just because if you let players bet, it's gonna start to question the integrity of what's going on from the outside.
Yeah.
And
Well,
when the outside starts to question things and they know that that's the real money grabber right there, they don't want to jeopardize that. So that's all that shit really is about for the league. They don't want to portray an image that players could somehow taint the game by betting on it and make fans become disinterested. If fans become disinterested and don't give that money up, they lose revenue. And that's all it's all about.
Right.
let the truth be
Yeah.
told, man.
And
Let the
that's,
truth
I
be
mean,
told.
it goes all the way back to the Black Sox scandal. It was like 1920s or something like that. The
Oh yeah.
Chicago White Sox,
Yeah.
like 8 of them motherfuckers got banned
Mhm.
from baseball for life. You
Damn.
know what I'm saying? And some of these Chicago White Sox players were very great players,
Mm,
and they got banned. They got banned forever, and they none of them are in the hall or anything like that. I think they're only mentioned in the hall. I believe there might be a plaque that's dedicated to mentioning the scandal itself,
damn.
but none of the players are admitted into the hall as individual players. and they all had lifetime bans because they were betting on games, and they were betting on their own games, and I believe they might have threw some games as well.
Hey, what year was that, B?
It's in the 20s. I want to say it's in the
Damn.
20s.
Damn.
I just saw that too when I was looking up some of these scandals. But yeah, you remember that whole Black Sox thing. Look, y'all, man, look, another episode of this MCXP Monday Man Cave, and I appreciate everybody tuning in. As you guys know how we do it, man. Myself, A. Reed, my man Big Game James, of course, my man Brian down there. Of course, y'all already know that. Before we leave, man, I always got to let you guys know that if you are suffering from anything mental health related wise, please seek help. There's the National Mental Health Hotline. Guys, you like I always say, you don't have to go through it by yourself. I am one that is suffering from it too, and I'm always getting over it, but I'm good to go, man. I'm glad that I got people in my corner to help me out. You can get people to help you out in your corner as well. So I always like to throw that out there for MCXP Radio. You already know. For myself, for the BGSE Network, for my man Big Game, Jay Stars, Brian, my guys, man, from Two Birds, One Show, man, Blurtitude, everything that we're doing here on the network, man. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell, man. Show love, because this thing is blowing up and we're doing big things, man. This is that show, man. Monday Man Cave. I will be back next Monday. I appreciate you guys. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
On the beach or something, we can slide all night. Smoke a little weed or something, getting high all night. Got my brown on ice, and you looking right. Then that see-through linen with that ass sitting right. You know how I do it, I'm a player for life.